All right, good morning, everyone. My name is Kevin Hardman, and I'm one of the tech support managers and also ISO trainer slash auditor. And if everyone can, I am actually having some phone problems. If everyone can please mute your phones, I would appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and get started. What we're going to actually do is sort of cover what E2 can do for you to become ISO certified. There's a lot of people in the meeting. I usually try to do these like one-on-one for customers, but there's a lot of demand right now, so we decided to go ahead and try to do a webinar and have me go over some basic things of what we can do for you. And then if you have any further questions, costs, and etc., call your inside salesperson and talk to them, and they can get a hold of me, and I can answer any detailed questions that you have. So right now, I'm going to go ahead and talk about the actual department. And I'll tell you a little bit of history. About 10 to 11 years ago, E2 hired a lead auditor. His name is Ed, and what he has, I guess now is 30 years of experience of ISO training and etc. And he actually put together RDS, and that's part of the things that we're going to talk about, the Rapid Document System. And he put this together as a click button kind of thing, and it produces everything that you need to pass and get all your documentations. And I'm going to show you that example. So right now, the department, we have actually 4 people nationwide. All the people here have been with E2 for over 10 years. Glenn Sherman is actually the manager of the department, and he oversees any problems. He assigns the calls and etc. Charlie Richmond has been around for over 15 years, and he's a consultant, and he's also an auditor. And then there's myself. I'm actually one of the support managers. I support all the employees, customers, and I'm also go out and help everyone get ISO certified. So the standards that we actually can accomplish are the ISO 9001, Aerospace 9100. We can do the medical, the 13485, and then the automotive TS 16949. So I sort of like to, show you guys a department. If you guys ever have questions, and maybe one of the ISO guys don't know, we have a team that will get it resolved. Something, if you guys don't know, we have actually never failed. We are actually at 100%. I think it's on the 11th year. So we have a great track record. So with saying that, I'm going to actually go ahead. Some of you guys are probably maybe wondering, why should I look into this? What can you do? One of the reasons I got into it, again, I help customers with the software. Something that really interests me, how things have changed in production through the economy and the United States, is certifications. To me, this is going to the next level. The cream of the crop. And this is, I just got some information, and I researched on what other countries and how many are they 9001. I just used that certification. And as you can see, China is way up there. All the regulations are still the same nationwide. Following the standards, it's all the same. So they have to be doing the same thing whether it's Japan, Spain, and etc. So they're the international standards. And as you can see, United States is 2.6 overall. So to me, I like helping the customers and getting them to get the certificate to move forward. To me, it just makes good business sense. So I just sort of like to show customers that. All right. So within E2, within the purchasing, you get a RDS, And this EXE will actually produce the documents that you need. And I'm actually going to go through the whole process. So part of the ISO training and ISO auditing, when we come aboard, we actually teach you what the ISO clauses are. And we go over step by step, making sure you understand how you can pass, giving you the answers, how to use E2 to making sure you can accomplish this. All right, so let's go ahead and just go over the RDS. And I'm actually going to, this is part of the things that we do with you. As you can see, it is actual hotspot. All right, and then literally you fill in this stuff, and we assist with this. So we'll just say use my name. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and put it on my desktop. So with this utility, we put in our scope. I'm not going to fill this in. We put in your scope. We put in your policy. We put in your objectives, and we will talk about this when we're one-on-one. And then we pick the processes that you have. So some of the things is you have to have process maps on what you guys are doing to produce the parts. So if you don't see yours here, no big deal. We just go ahead and create that for you. So I'm just going to pick, let's say, grinding, laser, let's see, fabrication. I'm just going to, let's just say pick 3. It doesn't matter however many you have, whatever your firm is doing. Then we're going to actually create the document. Usually it's going to be on your share drive, but I'm going to go ahead and put it on my desktop. Now, here are the standards that we're talking about. So you literally just pick the standard that you want. And for today, I'm just going to do the 9001. And here, do you want to do the all documents, or do you want to do the process only? So I want to show you all the documents that you get. If you guys actually do design and develop of your own product, you would toggle this. For right now, I'm just going to go ahead and use this. So here, while this is doing it, you'll see the production, and it's literally producing your manual, your process maps, your forms that you need. You don't have to sit there and do it yourself. I just was at actually a customer in California, and he actually didn't know that we had this, and I was actually working on scheduling with him, and we were sitting talking, and then I actually saw one of his process maps, and I go, "Oh, what's that?" He goes, "Oh, I'm trying to get ISO certified." And he said he already spent a couple weeks trying to get these process maps, and I'm like, "Do you know that we have this?" And he had no idea, and I just did the production right here. I showed him what I'm doing, and then he actually bought. So I'll show you everything. So sometimes it takes customers weeks or months, or they hire somebody to get all this stuff together. And like I said, it's a click of a button. So typically at this point where this is going on, I usually, ask you guys if you have any questions just up front, but we got too many people in the meeting. But I'll gladly go over stuff with you guys one-on-one or whatever at a later time. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead. It produced it, and this is what I love. Now this is, let's just say this is on your shared drive. Here are all your documents that you need. Here are all your forms, your procedures, and your process maps. So I'm going to go through. So your documents. You have actually your quality manual, your organization chart, and then your auditing process. And the auditing part that's actually 2 days. We actually come back and we actually do your internal audit for you. Once a year, the minimum, you have to do your own internal audit, and then we can come aboard and do that for you every year, and that's our paperwork. So let's just show you the quality manual. So the quality manual will have your company name, and it goes through all the standards. So how am I going to actually meet these requirements? Your manual will exactly tell you how to do that. So I'm just going to scroll down just a little bit just to give you an example. So I don't know, it's 30 pages long, and this is what you'll be your new Bible on how you're going to be running your business. And we come there and actually teach you step by step. All right, control of documents, control of records, your quality manual. This is what the management's going to be doing. Your customer focus, quality policy. It's already wrapped and ready to go for you. All right, and this is where your quality policy and quality objectives would fill in. All right, and then as you can see, I did go through pretty quickly. You can actually see a bunch of these forms and processes through the actual manual. And what that's saying, how am I going to satisfy 5.5? Well, you're going to use your organization chart. You and I just need to fill it in. I'm just going to go to another one. You have your management rep. That's me. How do you handle your internal communication? Well, you're going to follow the actual organization chart. And then also you're going to have production meetings, staff meetings, training. And we can always tweak this. Just depends on you. As you can tell, this is all done on Word. So when you sit down with the auditor, we can always, fine tune it. How do you handle review inputs on 5.62? Audit results, customer feedback, process performance, status. And I'll also go into E2 on our quality section a little bit too. All right, so that's the gist of that, the quality manual. All right, and then we have your actual process auditing map. This handles a certain clause. Your job description and your internal audit report. I'm not going to go into everything, but let's talk about the forms. So here are all the forms that you might have other special ones, and we can easily place them in here. But this is giving you some examples that you can use: a receiving summary, a customer survey, who's attended the meetings. You're saying you have a meeting, but are you documenting it? If you have actually any forms that you want to include, we give you a header so you can just fill in the form. You might have your own receiving inspection or something like that you guys like. A lot of people sometimes, they get a little worried, like, oh, there's so much paperwork, there's so much things to do. And really the way that we have it, we pretty much, it's, if someone's willing to listen and follow the process, it really is easy. We've gotten a two-man shop, a dad and his son, and they pass with no problem. Just follow the procedures. We become your coach. Job description, employee performance, inspection report, management review. So your procedures. On your procedures, how do you control your documents? We actually give you the procedure and we teach you on how to do that within E2. One of the clauses, how are you, what's your procedure on controlling your documents? We have that. How are you handling your orders and parts on the order? Well, we use the requirements review. So these are the kind of forms when the auditor after us come, you just actually show these forms and we actually tell you what to show them. Every year you have to do an evaluation on your suppliers. We actually give you the hotspot and we tell you how to do it, what reports to do. How do you guys control your non-conforming parts? We actually walk through and tell you actually how to do it. Majority of the time, customers are already following it. We're just documenting it for you and making sure that you're doing it. So, for instance, an example, one of the things that I always work with customers when I talk to them, how are you guys controlling, let's say, bad parts? Well, we paint it red, we put a marker on it or whatever, and I usually always tweak this for a customer because, one guy likes yellow, one guy likes red. One guy actually puts it in a big red bin, all his parts that are bad. So we just tweak that. Anything can be tweaked. It's easy. It's on Word. So I make sure that the customer knows exactly what their procedures and their manual is stating that they need to do. All right. I know it's not the most exciting things to read, but once you read through it, it's not a big deal. All right. What is your process during your corrective and preventative actions? And again, we teach you this. All right. So with that, now your process maps. This is one of the areas that we do lock down. In the past, let me just go into, let's see. Let's look at the order entry. This is actually, you have to have your process maps. And we actually wrote this in Visio. So we don't want really customers to go in and changing things around unless we approve it. We can easily change it for you, but we just want to double check it. So this is actually done in Visio. And then we all the auditors have it on our computer and we can easily change it. But if there's a different process or a different path, we can easily change it for you. But all this is actually done for you. Yes, it's really generic, but that's what we want. Okay? All right. And if you guys can mute your phones, I'd really appreciate it. That just helps everyone out. All right. So those are the process maps. Okay? All right. So that is RDS. That is what you're purchasing when you buy RDS. Everything's there and ready to go. And then I'm going to close out of this. And then how does it commingle with E2? And then we talk about the quality. I don't know if people have quality. Sometimes people have it already. Some people don't. But this is the holding tank for you. When your auditor comes, this is where you're going to put your non-conformances. Some of you guys may know, some people just have forms. They manually do it. We have actually, the past 2 years, we've had a lot of customers switch over from their, I don't want to say their old way, but their paper way, and then started using E2 and converted over to our quality manual. That's been happening quite a bit. But it's all right here. It's the holding tank. You can do your non-conformance. Fill out the paper, fill out the information, and then when the auditor comes, guess what? We have a non-conformance summary. When they were entered, did you close them out? You can do it by part and etc., by vendor. So it's sort of a very nice, just make sure people are putting the information in E2, and that's where we help you, making sure you're doing it properly. So you have your non-conformance, your corrective actions. All right. And again, we have the corrective preventative action summary. So again, I don't know if some of you know, I've gone into places where it's just a simple spreadsheet or whatever. Well, here it's sort of, it doesn't matter if it's paper or electronic. Or the standards doesn't say you can use whatever you want. So we have it with E2. Feedback. How are you communicating with your customers? How are you making sure that you're making good parts and they're happy? Well, we have actually a feedback area where you can put information in, whether it's positive, negative. Again, it's just a holding tank. Type some stuff in there and you're good to go. Then you can use the feedback summary. And then, you might get an email, you paste it in there, and etc. So it's, it's not overkill. It's nice and simple for our customers. And that's what we like. And then we have employee training. How do I know that your employee is efficient enough to produce a valid part or an inspected part? Well, we have training. Prove it to me. Well, this is where you would go with the employee training. You can run a report and then give it to your auditor. Here's all my training. There's your ISO, who did it, and etc. Let's say the fork truck, we all know we had those kind of meetings. Any kind of, let's see, what else is there? OSHA, etc. Maybe reviews. So all this stuff is right here. Just put it in E2. Sometimes customers use their lovely employee personnel file. Well, here's another way to bump it up to the next level. All right. So let's say, and you might be asking, well, where do you guys put that? Well, you just go in employee training and you just list them. You manually just list them. That's it. All right. Now, work center maintenance. On work center maintenance, how are you validating that work center? Well, we all know, everyone makes sure their machines are good. They're doing tune-ups and cleaning them after they use it, etc. But how can you validate that? Show me proof. Well, you guys can just, I'm sorry, I don't have one here. You can just literally fill out. One customer in Oklahoma, ex-Marine, the last Friday of the month, he buys pizza. He closes the shop for an hour, and he does overall cleaning on everything, the building and all the machines. He buys all his employees pizza, and he actually puts it in here, once a month. He printed it off, gave it to his auditor, and he's done. So something simple like that he was always doing, now he just made sure he put it in E2. That's his maintenance. Now, some of you might see the triggered maintenance. That's another level. I'm just going to leave that alone about that, but you can actually trigger it. Like, let's say you like to oil a machine after X amount of hours, you can do that, or piece is good. But scheduled maintenance once a month, once a week, I like to manually do it because just in case someone takes the trigger down, I don't like room for error. I want concrete information, paperwork, boom. Hope that made sense. Same thing with tooling maintenance. Tooling maintenance, a lot of times customers have a vendor come in and handle that. It seems like that's the higher percentage. I would say roughly around 75. But you actually can go in here, list your tools, and then have your tooling maintenance in here. So when they came or whatever. But a lot of times, like I said, the vendor usually handles this for them. But just in case of some of the places maybe want to save a little money, they do it themselves, just list it there. And again, you print the report. Document control, which is huge. Document control, we actually go over this with you on how to make sure we want to control our documents. And this part of E2, that's exactly what it does. You put the quality manual and etc. all in here. Drawing whatever type it is, I'll just show you. Is it a procedure, policy, an image, HR documentation? You propose it, you had a meeting, you release it, revision. So it's pretty simple to use, very nice. And usually all the auditors that I've ever talked to after us love this. So, and that's how you control your documents. And then we have plenty, and the summary reports, the non-conformance, feedback, employee, and these are all the reports that you would actually print off for your audit after the internal audit. And we actually go over this process. Now, usually at this time is when I usually ask questions. I ask if you guys have any questions. Let me see. I'm pretty much, I did cover majority of the stuff that I like to. Some of you guys may ask, hey, so tell me a little bit more about the ISO training, etc. Typically, the RDS is the EXE that you guys saw that produces all the actual reports, manuals, okay? And then the next part is usually 2-day. It's usually 4 days on site, 2 days where we actually come in and help you run the RDS and teach you the actual the ISO clauses, making sure that you know how to use E2, and whoever is that rep, coach them. They're the quarterback, and then we're the coach, and we're making sure they know the ins and outs. If they have any questions, we're a phone call away or an email away. So those are the first 2 days. We meet with your employees, the management, and get a game plan. And then after you guys go back and start doing your homework, and then you're ready, then we come back for 2 days, and then we actually do your internal audit for you and go through all the standards and making sure that you're doing it or not doing it. And then if you have any non-conformance or whatever, we write you up. We talk about it. During that internal audit, we do more training just in case someone may have forgot something, maybe someone left, and go through that process to get you ready for the people behind us who will actually be doing your external audit. So that's really what we can offer. Like I said, we're 100%. At this time, if you guys have, you want to do a little one-on-one, if you have many more questions, pricing and stuff like that, call your inside salesperson. But if you wanted to cover a couple things, call your inside salesperson and they can get me. And then, I can talk to you one-on-one. It'll be a little bit easier. Everyone's a little different. But as of right now, that's what we can offer you with E2, with getting ISO certified. So as of right now, hey, thank you very much for listening. I hope I answered a lot of questions that you guys might had, and please feel free to give us a call and we'll take care of you. Have a great afternoon.
Thank you.
I guess that's all I'm hanging up on. Yeah, left. There's quite a few people on that.
Yeah.
So almost every one of the people on that call would have been existing ShopTech or users, E2 users.